the way to self-mastery. Don't change the world. Don't fix the world out there. Fix this one. Fix by you walk through this lifetime, you meet your friends, you meet your partner, you meet your colleagues, whatsoever, then you're being triggered. Why are you being triggered? Remove whatever is triggering you. Remove it. There's nothing that shakes you too much anymore. But not because you suppress it, because you have transcended it. That is the difference.
A blade does not become strong. It does not become tempered until it's been through the fire. Until it's been through the fire several times. And this is just your first or second time through the fire. And there's a lot of hammer work that has to take place.
Suffering is a fact of life. If you look at suffering the right way, it's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it as suffering, woe is me, this is bullshit, God, kicking rocks. If you look at it like, okay, you tested me now. I get it.
Winners, the difference between them and the spectators is the winners have a belief that overrides the crowd's disbelief every single time. Their belief is so strong, even though they hit failure, they get knocked on the ass, they're finding the intestinal fortitude to stand back up again, facing the same challenge, learning from the previous mistakes, and make it happen. Winners fail a million times. What makes them a winner is that they believe it and they're headstrong. Nothing's gonna stop that.
Everything changed for me when I realized that we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is where I'm genuinely meant to be. Tough days are all a part of the process. Lean into them. Bad days are also part of a very good and meaningful life. So on my toughest days, I think about getting through one more day, one more workout, one more rep.
Brother, you've been asking God to change your life, but refuse every road that looks like it might be difficult. Just the thought, what if the thing you're afraid of is the very thing He's waiting for you to start? Only one way to find out.
If you truly want to be no one, then you're free. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to do in a way. But you're free to do everything. But not because you need to prove something, not because you need to achieve something. And that in a way truly makes free.
Version of you that survives this is going to be untouchable because the pain made him real. You're looking at what you're going through right now and treating it like punishment or it's a penalty box, like you're losing. Pain isn't penalty. It's a prerequisite. You're asking God for the capacity to lead, to build, the capacity to hold weight, and He's answering that prayer by putting you in a room where the weight is heavier than anything you've ever lifted before. You don't build muscle by lifting what's comfortable or what's easy. You build it by lifting what's almost too heavy to move. The man that you're becoming right now requires the exact resistance that you're in right now. The men who've been through the fire, we don't walk the same. They don't move through rooms the same. There's a stillness in a man who survived the worst chapter of his life.
We're not men because we face the battle and we get immediately victory every time a battle comes up. We're men because we face the battle and we stay in the battle when we feel like we're losing and we feel like we're getting beat up. But we stay in there and we keep fighting and we plant our feet and we say, until death do I part. This is me and I will fight this battle regardless of what the battle is.
If you're doing something and it's easy, it's not valuable. World-class marathoner on mile 21. Is that dude smiling? No, he's not smiling. Because somebody else who's down for the pain will go harder and further and pass him.
Life is short and fragile. Your clock is ticking and you must act with urgency. No matter the result of yesterday, with each rise of the sun, you have a new opportunity to build positive habits. Habits that harness your full human potential. Habits that bring you closer to meeting your highest self. Starve your distractions. They are the root of your negative habits, and nothing positive will blossom from them. Feed your focus, let it take root, and watch it grow strong enough to choke out your excuses.
So the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self. You should be constantly trying to do that. And you're the right control for yourself too, because you're the one who's had all your advantages and disadvantages. If you want to compete fairly with someone, then you should be competing with you. If you're improving yourself, then what you are doing is competing with your lesser self. And then you might also ask, well, what is that lesser self? And that lesser self would be resentful and bitter, aggressive and vengeance-seeking, and all of those things that go along with having a negative moral character. And those are things that interfere with your ability to progress as you move forward through life. So it's very necessary to understand that this is why, I've been stressing this idea of personal responsibility. It's like, well, personal responsibility is to compete with yourself, is to be slightly better than yourself the next day.
And they say, remember who was there for you at your lowest. But no one was there for me at my lowest. Life has always just been a solo mission. Through all the struggle, through all the adversity, no one was there by my side. It was always me at the end of the day that had to make it happen for me. And the harsh truth is, no one cares until you win. You'll never get recognized until you finally are undeniably successful. Humans are conditional. They want you if you benefit them. The moment that you don't, they just cut you off. But honestly, I like it that way.
Suffering has a pattern, yeah? Suffering has a pattern. It's pattern, meaning there is a structure. The ability of whatever arises, you never know what it arises, you never know how strong it is, but your ability to realize there is still something, no matter how strong it is, there is still something stable about you. Then you can let arise whatever it is. Sometimes there are just forces and energies in this world. They are very, very strong. And if you are not able to have a proper root of yourself, if you have nothing about your mind that truly is anchored steadily, you're going to lose yourself. And therefore, what is it that I wish? For everyone, find this root.
That the mind also needs suffering. The mind needs also struggle, setbacks, and that you have to climb back up again. That's what makes you strong. It's like Nietzsche said, that what does not kill you will make you stronger. And this is exactly what it is. It's all about, that people should look forward to the struggle, because the struggle makes you tougher. And so don't shy away from that. It's part of life, and it will make you grow.
It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what people say to you. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you. It doesn't matter if you're tired, if you're sore, if you're beat up. You're gonna be all those things, and all those things are gonna happen. You are gonna have to build yourself into someone who can execute regardless. And when you become that version of you, there is not a motherfucking thing on this planet that can stop you.
The greatest test that anything could withstand is time. Just give it time. It'll reveal itself.
Setbacks, problems, adversity, opposition, challenges are expected but never permanent. Like, I want you to pick up what I'm telling you, man. Setbacks, adversity, opposition, challenges, problems, it's to be expected.
When you're trying to do something hard, what your brain does is give you something else hard to do that's not quite as hard, so that you can feel justified in not doing the thing you're supposed to because you're doing something else useful. And if you give in to that temptation, which you often will, then it wins, and because it wins, it gets a little dopamine kick and it grows stronger. Anything you let win, the internal argument, grows.
How can you beat someone who cannot fucking quit? How can you beat someone who every time they go through a hard time, they get better and they get stronger instead of getting weaker and getting demoralized?
Like, we all gonna go through something. Like, I love the quote that say, we all got problems. What makes us different is how we solve them. It's expected, but never permanent.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does.
One day you'll wake up and realize the potential you had, knowing you've chosen comfort over effort.
Fear is overcome. Hesitation is overcome. It's not overcome by motivation. It's overcome by discipline. I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm hesitant, I'm not sure if I want to do this, I'm second guessing, all those little things. They're just overridden by one thing and one thing only, discipline. And that's what it's going to take. That is the discipline.
When he lost courage, he would recite it, and it would give him what he needed to keep going. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever God there may be for my unconquerable soul, the fell collective circumstance, I have not cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of fate, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate and how punishment charge this road. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
What got me to this point was I was just the opposite of Ray today. I was that guy who ran away from absolutely everything that got in front of me.
What pain have you gone through that has turned into suffering? It's the relationship where someone's unfaithful and you end a relationship that you thought was great. That is painful. But suffering is 3 years down the road and still saying, can't trust a man, can't trust a woman. It's the same thing when it comes to money. It's the same thing when it comes to business. What pain have you experienced in your past that you didn't process, that you didn't learn from, and now it's just this suffering mechanism that wakes you up, keeps you thinking, is when you're alone in your thoughts, it pops up, it's like, hey, suffering here, let's spend some time together. It's like, no, screw you, I learned from that, I'm no longer suffering. Declare today, decide today that suffering will end. Pain is a part of our life. The more pain you have, that means the bigger you're playing the game. But we don't have to suffer. You have a choice.
Things are hard in life because this is the way that your soul evolves and grows. Think of it like a weight room. When I lift weights, and I lift weight that's easy for me, I'm not gonna make any growth in my muscle. It won't. But when I start to lift things that are heavy, that are difficult, there's a lot of resistance, that's going to create tears in my muscle that eventually will start to grow back and it will develop muscle. I will increase my strength. Life is the same thing. The weight room is a microcosm of life. So I have to go through hard things. I have to go through things that put me under tension, that make me uncomfortable, that create resistance to ensure that my mind, that my soul will continue to evolve and grow. But just like with lifting weights, if it gets hard and I drop it, I let it down, I'm not going to get out of it what I could have gotten out of it. So instead, when times get hard, there may be times that you have to take a break, but do not give up.
It doesn't get any easier. Wins don't come easy. Wins are earned. The score matters. We live in the world where everybody thinks of, hey, showing up is half the battle. No, showing up is none of the battle. It's none of the battle. If showing up is half the battle, you're so far away from winning and being limitless, you're never even going to get there.
So I know it might not seem this way, but life is so much more exciting when you're disciplined and working towards something. It doesn't have to be some huge life goal. It's anything that just gets you out of bed in the morning. Something that gives you a reason to want to chase each day. Because it feels good to improve, man. There's fucking purpose for a change. I don't know you, I don't know your current situation, but I do know if you constantly feel lost and unmotivated in your life, it's because you haven't been in motion, and objects at rest stay at rest.
The problem isn't that it's hard. The problem isn't that you're scared. The problem isn't that you want to give up. The problem is you thinking it's not supposed to be like this, because it is. These obstacles are the tests you must pass to become the person you want to be. They were in the terms and conditions you didn't know you signed when you started chasing this dream of yours. So embrace the struggle, smile at the pain, because one day you'll look back on this time as the good old days.
The differential between the people that are achieving in life and don't achieve in life isn't really their potential, what they're born with, their gifts, or anything else. It's their perseverance, always showing up, always giving themselves a chance. Getting out of bed, coming here in the morning, going for it, and else sweep it. Put yourself in the opportunity to get that break, to give yourself a chance. At the end of the day, it's all you're going to do. But the more you feel against the wall, something will eventually stick.
I just wanted to be a better version of myself, and I kept looking in the mirror and envisioning what I could look like. As long as you're alive and you're strong and you can keep pushing and you stay motivated and disciplined and just stick to the grind. And most importantly, you have a plan. As long as you work, you get there one day. Because something that everyone lacks nowadays is just having the consistency and the will to stay on the path, you know.
It's not what you do, it's who you are.
Yeah.
It's not what's gonna get you there, it's what's gonna keep you there. Do what's right, not what's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not what you do, it's who you are. Like how you operate, how you treat people, how you do things. It's not what you do, it's who you are, right? It's not what got you there, it's what's gonna keep you there. Do what's right, not what's easy, right? Just how you live your life. It's certain people that live life a certain type of way. It's certain people that do things a certain type of way.
If you risk nothing, you risk everything. Risk is scary, but regret is terrifying. The safe harbor of success is an illusion. In life, your rewards rarely exceed your risks. Results, respect, resilience are all on the other side of risk. Be bold in the face of your fear, never abandon. Take risks and take what's yours.
You only got one life, guys. Again, if you work it right, you only need one. You give it all you have, you're gonna get max potential back. And then who knows what will come. That's the beautiful thing. If you don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You'll never get the job, never get the part, never get the girl if you don't show up. If you show up, you're putting yourself in a situation to create those opportunities.
Failures are a prerequisite to who we want to become. I cannot stress that enough. So sometimes something that seems to be a negative thing, seems to be a bad thing that is happening to us, or even a season of dormant, or even a season where we have to sit back and start to recalibrate, recoil the spring, so to speak, reconfigure where we're at. Sometimes that's right where we need to be.
What are you gonna do? How bad do you want it? There's two options. Continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is giving birth. And forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to find that dream again. For it is dead. And in its death, it's replaced by regret.
Because you're sad, now you're gonna make a bunch of bad decisions because you're sad? No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're sad, okay. You get emotional sometimes? Okay. Got it. Now, get control of your emotions and carry on with your life.
Work like they're trying to take it from you, because they are. If you're not working like someone is trying to take everything you've worked for, someone eventually will. They don't care that you're tired. They don't care how you feel. They don't care about your excuses. They don't care about your emotions. Complacency kills.
You do not need them to believe in you. You do not need your friends to tell you you're great. All you have to do is go become great, and they will recognize you. So we all have some stuff that we've been given. And I don't think that it's optional for us to sit on what we have. See, if you're sitting on what you have, what you've been given, I think everybody's been given something to bring to the planet. That only you can do that. Only you can perform that. Only you can initiate that activity. And if you don't do that, if you're not filling in your life with your life work or your mission, then there are gaps in your life.
You forgot who the you are, bro. You got so caught up in other people's opinions and the way the world looks at you that you forgot what got you here in the first place. Forget everybody else, bro. Forget the crowd, forget the clubs, forget whatever it is. You have nobody to prove anything to except yourself.
In my philosophy, I'm a warrior and everything should be perfect. Everything what I'm doing, I have to do it well, or I shouldn't do it at all.
Sometimes a man who's not at peace is a man who was born to not fit in, but he's trying to shoehorn himself into a box or into a hole that he was never meant to fit in. And that might be you. Some of you are meant for the journey, not for the arrival. Embrace the journey and shun the box. And be one of those men who finds things, who figures things out, who sees things that others are not able to see.
And what we do when we're not living out our true identity, we begin to fill the gaps. We fill the holes with garbage.
If you give up a little bit today, like you can't get it back. Like if you skip a workout today, there's no possible way to get that back. When you let something go, it's gone. And Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome didn't fall apart on a day either. It didn't fall apart because of one thing. It falls apart just a little bit at a time. And so you can't submit. You can't submit.
Everything you do holds value. There are no shortcuts. You went to every fucking corner, made a left turn or a right turn, and then you went down the next path. And ensured everything and the opportunity was presented. And you got the most at each situation you could. If you come up short, you know it's not from your lack of effort. You got beat honestly, and that's fine.
You know, we all have one voice. You know, one voice is very powerful that says, hey, you've earned this, you deserve this, take time off, all that stuff. Start developing the other voice that fights that voice, where it's not a designated day off. I don't care if it's running, swimming, biking, studying. If it's not a day off, don't take a day off.
Or what you do frequently becomes your frequency. So if you want to know your life, look at your habits. That's what you do frequently, right? And they add up to a rhythm. That rhythm becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes your character. That character becomes your life. You're not going to be able to break out of it until you change something about who you are. So there's so many people that's operating from a paradigm of fear. They got too much fear. Courage is where it starts. Courage is where the shift starts. Because the fear gonna be there. But daily courage is how you activate yourself even when the fear comes. The fear of success and the fear of failure, it paralyzes people. It minimizes your vision. It stops your movement. It makes you think small as hell. It's your fear that's stopping you. Insecurity, you don't think you're good enough. You don't think that's for you, right? So when you talk about frequencies, the shift comes in saying that, you know, you have to be what you want to achieve already.
Wouldn't you want to know what would happen if you spent just 1 year giving it your absolute all? You gave your diet your absolute all. You gave your fitness regimen your absolute all. You gave your work your absolute all. How drastically would your life change in just 1 year? 1 year of uninterrupted focus.
The whole journey of a process of something, you're trying to become a master at something, is way more fun when you're uncovering the knowledge along the way, rather than just being given it at the start. And I think it's a fool's approach to want to have all the answers at the beginning, or even to think you have all of them. And I still far from having all the answers. Maybe there'd be a way where I would start with the knowledge again and go on a different path and end up better or worse. I never know, but I would still rather go along the journey without the knowledge to begin with.
The process it takes to be number one and stay in number one, you have no idea. Everybody wants to sit in your seat until they have to sit in your seat. Very few people understand what winning and success does to an individual's mental health. Everybody thinks the more you win, the more successful you are. It just makes everything so much easier. And they don't understand the pressures that these individuals put on themselves to continue to perform at the highest level.
The more time you spend alone, you're gonna figure out, okay, what your purpose is. And I say that because of this. You start seeking in those moments of not having any outside distractions. What happens is things become clear. Clarity sets in. And you're able to make decisions not based on what you saw that day or what you heard that day or what that person may have said to you. You're able to make decisions based on how you feel internally.
Inside, we grow. We start from here, and it comes out. And from within, we're not worried about the sun, the clouds, the f***ing people in the parking lots. We're worried about our mission at hand.
Mortality, I think, is something we don't think about enough. The certainty. You know, we're in this brief shaft of light between two oceans of darkness. Everyone always thinks about the tail end, right? Everyone thinks about what happens after you die. Mark Twain had this great quote. You know, he said, I wasn't alive for billions of years before my birth, and it didn't inconvenience me in the least. But this brief shaft of light is kind of magnificent, isn't it?
Nothing great is going to come without you having to deal with what I call adversity and pain tolerance.
Real self-worth comes from doing hard things.
You must be able to deal with that. And the more understanding you have of what's causing you the pain and how you've dealt with it is going to determine how successful you will be in whatever you choose in life.
That your mind is designed to help you get what you want. You just have to be willing to believe it's possible.
The reality is that most people never do what they really want to do in life because they are afraid of what other people are going to say. You take what they say and you use it.
Losing is not an option with me. Not being successful is not an option. When you make not being successful, it's not an option for you. That's when your life is going to change. Where you are now is just a reflection of your past thoughts, your past thinking. So if you want to change your future, you got to change your thoughts now.
See, adversity is like the gym for your soul. It hurts, it's heavy, but it builds you up. Every time you wanted to quit, every time life tried to break you, you chose to stand tall. That's what makes you great. It's about the grind, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the prayers you whispered when nobody was watching. It's all about those moments when you could have folded, but you didn't. You see, the underdog story is the realest story there is.
I can probably guarantee 99.9% of the times you're gonna say, oh yeah, wish I'd started doing that sooner, right? You're never gonna regret something you really went after, because at least you went after it, you know? If you never try, that's the things that people look back on and they say, oh man, that's what I can do now, right? The time is absolutely gone. There's no turning it back.
Talking about self-love, we keep talking about loving yourself, believing in yourself. That happens naturally when you go through something difficult. The point is, we've all done hard things, and self-worth and self-value comes from recognizing the hardship you've been through and the growth that you made during that time.
Champions aren't found on the podium with their hand up. No, champions are found in lab studies. The thousands of hours of hard work when no one's watching. That's what makes the will unstoppable. When you're in here and no one else is, and you're pushing yourself harder than anybody with no one around. That right there, guys, is a spark catches flames, burns every fear down, guys. Some fear people use and it enables them, fear does. You know, it's a block to them. They're scared from it, they run from it. Fear, you know, shuts them down. For others, fear's a motivation. I feel fear now. Yeah, I cackle it, so I never have to feel it again.
Here's the thing, once something's important to you, it never leaves your mind. If you always dreamt about being a singer-songwriter and you never did it, you will be haunted by that at the age of 70, because it's still right here, stored in the back of your mind. It's something that's meant for you, that's trying to call to you. You see, your dreams, you either pursue them or they fucking haunt you.
If I was around you for 24 hours, what would you actually say? Would it really say you're serious about growing what you're growing? Or would it say you're just interested in it? Success doesn't always depend on world-class talent. It's a small piece of it. You can learn how to be talented, I promise you. But it does depend on world-class consistency.
You need to recognize that driven people always feel behind. They're always going to have doubt. They're always going to have chips on their shoulder. That's what makes us fucking great at what we do. It's not the affirmations. It's the fucking dark shit. It's the people that told us we were losers. It's the people that told us we were pieces of shit. And anybody who tells you different, they haven't achieved anything. Look at what they've achieved. It's probably a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Real motherfuckers remember all the dark shit. They take the dark shit and they put it into productive action to build the life that they want.
Try, bro. Try. Why don't you try? Go harder, bro. Work. There's not even no pressure on a dream. It's a dream. There's pressure to feed your kids. There's pressure to pay rent. There's pressure to make sure that you don't get fired from your job. Like a dream, though, all a dream is fake reality that you can make a real reality. That's all the dream is. So work it.
Because when you come from nothing, you appreciate everything. You hustle different, you love different, and you lead different. So today, I want you to do 3 things. Stay humble. Never forget where you came from. Stay hungry. Keep that fire in your soul. And stay true. Always be real with yourself and the world. Because the world don't need no more copies. It need originals. And trust me, ain't nobody else that can do what you do like you do.
You didn't fight through all of that just to stay silent. Someone out there needs what you've lived. The lessons you've bled for, the wisdom you've earned the hard way. You're not too broken. You're proof that it's possible. Perfection isn't what reaches people. Honesty does. Someone is waiting, not for the polished version of you, but for the real one. Say it, show it, let them know that they're not alone. You didn't come this far just to keep it to yourself.
People who don't have a sense of purpose, a mission, and don't have a consistent routine end up digging holes in their life. Gambling, over-drinking, too much television, things that slowly chip away at humanity, things that people use to escape. And you're like, whoa, where'd this come from? It was the absence of purpose and it was absence of routine. We need it, otherwise humans dig the holes in their lives too, no different than a German Shepherd would.
The most important thing is the consistency. If you have consistency, you're gonna be good in the future, or you're gonna be better than other ones in the future. I think it's part of the life. It's like that. Who told you the opposites? They are not part of this world, in my opinion. If you want to achieve successful, it's the only way. So you're never gonna be in a high level so many years. If you are not consistent more than other ones, if you don't do something more than other ones, you're never gonna be number one like me.
I just beat me. This ain't about nobody else. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. I just beat me. If I can keep doing that, then that means that I'm in a battle with the only person that fucking makes sense. I'm in a battle with the only person that I really want to fucking beat, and that's me. I don't care about anybody else. have no worry or gripe about the next man or woman's journey. If I can continue to outdo me from the day before, then I'm ahead.
Wake up, bro. It's halftime. That contract you signed at the beginning of the year is waiting to be completed, and here you are, about to start the third quarter. You just dropped a stinker in the first half. These are the championship rounds, bro. This is where all that shit counts. And either you gonna show up and get that ring, get that trophy, get that dream that you've always wanted, or somebody else that signed that same contract is gonna get it before you. You okay with letting that happen? You okay with falling short again? Because I ain't. You told yourself this year was different. Stop talking, bro. Start doing. Halftime's over. It's your turn to win.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
Life is the most brutal endurance sport of all time, and that's what we have to love about it. We have to flip it on its head and love the fact that life continues to attack us. There are no fucking timeouts. We have to know that when we die with some meaning and some purpose in this world.
I don't want to live at the level of feelings. You settle too low. You settle for what you see. You settle for what people say. You settle for old templates. You settle for old scripts. You settle for emotions.
You can't have a victory without a battle.
God is raising you up right now. He's doing it through a process. The level you will settle on is the level that you see yourself.
Because what the enemy sent to stop you is not going to have its intended purpose. When that snake bites, don't panic, don't fall apart, just shake it off and keep moving forward. Keep thanking God that He's fighting your battles. Keep thanking Him that what was meant for harm, He's turning to your advantage.
If you don't stand up and decide to live and survive and move forward and find a way into the next season of your life, you will pass along the same spirit that has tormented you. And that's not just if you're on the edge, that's anybody who feels like quitting. But quitting the thing that God has called you to, it's not small. Don't die outside of your destiny.
What is successful and what is failure, the differential, are so small. We're talking about seconds. We're talking about, reps. We're talking about the finest echelon of measurement that will make or break someone's life to be successful at that moment. And once that moment's successful, that gives a birth of a lifestyle that's unbeatable, second to none. But in order to have that first success, you must ensure yourself that you're giving it all you can today.
It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide loves, partying, trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gonna fly.
Between the acting of a dreadful thing, between the moment when you are waiting to do something that you don't want to do, and the first motion and the moment when you initiate the action, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream.
Life ain't about medals. It ain't about certificates. It ain't about houses, money, cars, fame, all that shit. It's about scars. So when you get judged, when everything is said and done with, you won't get judged in your medals. You get judged in your scars. The scars show your willingness to get to the side. They show your failures. They show your willingness to start from scratch. They show what you're willing to do to go the distance, to see what you're capable of. So make sure in life, don't be afraid to get scars. Stay hard.
You know, everyone has their disabilities, let's say, and I know that some people are far more terribly affected than other people. I'm perfectly aware of that. But the question is, what do you do about that? And what you do is you set yourself up on your damn crutches and you struggle up the bloody hill. That's what you do. And you struggle up the hill towards the kingdom of God. That's what you do. Because the alternative is to descend into the abyss. That's the alternative. And then so to say, well, do you believe? It's like, I believe that you should struggle uphill towards the city of God on your crutches. That's what you should do. That's the opposite of the descent into the abyss.
So the battle, the struggle, the hesitation takes place in that moment. That moment when we must step into the unknown. That moment filled with fear and horror. And that fear is what causes hesitation, and hesitation causes defeat. Hesitation is the enemy. Hesitation allows the moment to pass, the opportunity to be lost, the enemy to get the upper hand. Hesitation turns into cowardice. It stops us from moving forward, from taking initiative, from executing what we know we must. Hesitation defeats us, so we must defeat it.
And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, that things can get better for me.
Get your feet on the ground, step forward. Do not hesitate, do not wait. Go forward and win.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. We are so tied up in our minds that we've lost our senses. Time to wake up. What is reality? It isn't material, that's just an idea. Reality is this.
Whoever it is that you want to be, no matter how many times you may have failed at attempting to become that person leading up to this point, you can still become that person. You're going to decide who that is, you're going to hold that ideal in your mind, and you're going to force yourself to act in accordance. You are going to tell people what you're up to. And if you really have some balls, you're gonna tell people that want you to fail. Because that, believe it or not, that's who's gonna come to your rescue in your darkest hours of wanting to give up. It's gonna be remembering that out there is someone who's laughing at you, who wants you to fail, that's talking behind your back about how you're never going to achieve it, and then imagine how rad it will be when you actually do achieve it.
We can't work out without purpose. We need to get into our dress for the wedding. Summertime's coming, so we want to look all good. The biggest purpose in life isn't all it. It's how you respect yourself, how you look at yourself. That's an everyday journey. So every day you should be getting after it. We look at determination, self-discipline. We look at hard work. All these terms is almost like we dread them. So don't look at them as dread and punishment. Look at those words as a lifestyle. Stay hard.
look inside, you'll find something to grapple with.
You have so much time to live. It's your time. So your goal in life is to realize that that is your treasure. So let's say you're working at that job and you have that horrible boss and you're miserable. You can turn that around and make those 8 hours a lifetime. You tell yourself, maybe I could see that there are things that I can learn even from the worst possible job. So that's how you create a lifetime, by saying, it's mine. I'm going to create something worthwhile out of it. I'm not going to give it away to others. This is my time. I'm going to own it.
What I'm saying is, don't settle. Don't live lives of complacency, because there is so much out there for us. We all have the right to live incredibly fulfilled, incredibly passionate, incredibly joyful lives where you are psyched it's Monday morning, where you are psyched that you're in quarantine with your family, where you are psyched that you get to do what you do every single day. And if something doesn't line up that way, don't put it off. This is your life. No one is going to come and change it for you.
Why couldn't we just be happy being who and what we are? Why is it that we're punished if we don't strive? Couldn't we just be rewarded for who we are? I can understand that, but I don't think that it works. I don't think things function like that. And I don't think probably in the final analysis we really want them to. I don't know if anyone enjoys undeserved reward. It feels creepy, doesn't it, to be rewarded for something you didn't do? When else, the positive emotion that we find sustaining is experienced in relationship to an unachieved goal.
So if you want to begin to grow, you've got to put something out here that you can't reach easily, that has got to make you stretch, got to make you jump for it, got to make you get back a little bit and dig in so that you can take a leap for it. And maybe you jump up there and you miss it and you extend your knees and you come back again and you bust your lip next time. But you keep on, and through that process, you learn how to leap higher. You start challenging yourself to dig deeper, and then you discover some things about you that you don't know right now, some talents that you have in you that you didn't know that you can do.
Right? Most cats are somebody that works hard. If the situation and the circumstance is what they want it to be, they're going to come out and they're going to act accordingly and they're going to give you everything they got. But a hard worker, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what happened, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give everything I got to it because I'm looking for something that's totally different. Right? The question becomes this: can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you do?
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Right? Like courage. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And so anytime you got to be courageous, let's look at it from the standpoint of dreams, goals, and aspirations. You got your dream, your goal, and your aspiration, and then you got reality. And oftentimes reality doesn't reflect the goal, the dream, and the aspiration. And so when you think courage, like being courageous, and following your heart because it somehow knows what you want to do anyway, like it's almost like instinct, right? It's almost like when you feel something that you should do, and for some strange reason, like your mind or your spirit tells you, nah, I don't want to do it, because it takes you outside of your comfort zone and it puts you in a space and place that may be unknown, or puts you in a space and place of uncharted territory, but you know you should do it, you could feel it, right? And then you go against it. And all it does is make the route a lot longer. That's all it does.
Making promises to yourself that you don't keep. It's saying, I'm going to do this and not doing it. Because then what happens after that is the self-talk. Self-talk that you create by not upholding the obligations that you make to yourself is ultimately the most destructive thing that you could ever do to yourself. I'm going to start on Monday. 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 I'm going to start after the wedding. I'm going to start after this trip, after summer, after this next holiday, after the holidays, I'm going to start. Sound familiar? Yeah. That's why you feel like, because you know that you didn't do none of that shit you told yourself you should have done.
back out. I failed everything I did the first time. I was known for coming back even harder after I failed. Success isn't a straight line. It's a maze. And when you think you figured that maze out, you hit a wall, and you got to fuck around, start again. Stay hard.
Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's gonna take care of your business like you. Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full.
Everybody talk about how great they want to be until adversity and opposition hits. You judge the true character and caliber of a person by what they stand in times of challenge and opposition.
Things that are robust, that are strong, that are tough, that can take just a lot of abuse before they break, they are still ultimately defined by their breaking point. Something that is anti-fragile, on the other hand, is something that the more you attack it, the more it is pounded on, the stronger it gets. We're tied to something that is truly anti-fragile, that the more somebody comes after it, the more robust it becomes. Being a learner is that answer.
Because when it got hard, or when it rained, or when you got hungry, whatever, your boys wanted to go out to the club, or whatever the fuck it was, you did it, and you didn't stick through, and that's it. Our life success comes down to little bitty tiny decisions that we make consistently over and over and over again. And if you're making consistent decisions to break your momentum over and over and over again, you're not fucking having it. If you can just keep believing, when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, just hope. You ain't even really got to believe. All you got to do is hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You just got to hope. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to believe, but you can always be strong enough to just hope that I hope God come get me. I hope I make it.
So I just want to tell you, man, that don't let those thoughts that are trying to kill you. What are those thoughts that tell you you're not enough? Those thoughts that tell you things won't get better? Those thoughts that tell you that you are your mistakes? Those thoughts that tell you that you are your past? Those thoughts that tell you that you're worthless? Don't let those thoughts kill you. They're lying to you. Because you're more than that. You're more than a conqueror. You're more than what you're going through. You do have purpose. You are awesome. You are talented. You are beautiful. You are special, despite what you've been going through.
Most of us have been conditioned not to take a risk. People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it's really simple. One word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you're gonna feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're gonna have more to give. And when you're growing and giving is when life is magnificent.
You can't be successful if you say one thing and you do another thing. So I'm here to tell y'all, for real, success, number one, starts with you. Like, for real, real success is you say one thing, and if you do what you say 70% of the time, you're gonna be average. If you do what you say you're gonna do 80% of the time, you're gonna be real good. And if you do what you say you're gonna do 90% of the time, you're gonna be great. Because very few people do what they say they're gonna do. It sounds good coming off your lips.
When I finally discovered it's all risky, the minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go.
But if you can remain hopeful in spite of all adversity, if you can just go to bed and just wake up tomorrow, every time you wake up, that's a sign from God that He ain't through with you yet.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
And don't let your mind control you. Control your mind, and then you can set it free.
It's not helpful to you to be envious. If you know what you want, then you know when you're failing. If you don't allow yourself to know what you want, you can keep that foggy. If you don't set out the conditions for your success, then you can avoid your responsibility because, again, that's not clear. And the problem with wanting something is that in all probability, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to make sacrifices, and it's certainly possible that you want to avoid that. Failing to make any of that clear protects you right now, but it's really hard on you over the medium to long term.
How can I wake up early in the morning? Wake up early. How can I work out consistently every day? Work out consistently every day. You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote.
You go at what you're going to deal with, and you deal with the difficulties of it. When you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through.
Like you know exactly what you want. You know exactly when you want it. Listen to me. You know exactly what it tastes like. You know what it looks like. You know what it smells like. Like before you really blow up, and you get success, like you literally have it in the palm of your hand without having it. No, I'm serious, God. You got to know what it looks like.
Don't ask for security, ask for adventure.
If you fight with faith, you fight with prayer, eventually you'll realize everything that you went through had a purpose.
You have to learn, what do you want in your life? And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you.
You can set yourself a goal that you can attain, and there's not going to be much glory in it to begin with. Because if you're not in very good shape, the goal that you could attain tomorrow isn't very glorious. But it's a hell of a lot better than nothing, and it beats the hell out of bitterness, and it's way better than blaming someone else. It's way less dangerous, and you could do it. It's one step on a very long journey. And so it starts to compound on you. So a small step today puts you in a position to take a slightly bigger step the next day. And then that puts you in a position to take a slightly bigger step the next day. You do that for 2 or 3 years, man, you're starting to stride.
Be kind to yourself. You are actually doing the best you can. Don't beat yourself up. Don't drive yourself crazy. You are actually doing the best you can.
There is the darkness and the light, my friends, and you have to play in both.
Just because you've gone through it doesn't mean that you are it. Some of you right now, you're listening to me and someone is telling you that you should just give into that temptation, that you should just give into that problem, that there's no way that you're ever gonna overcome it, that this has been 10 years or 12 years or 15 years or 20 years or your entire life. But just because it's been your entire life up until this point doesn't mean that it has to be the rest of your life going forward.
That the greatest rewards come not from instant gratification, but from sustained effort and from hard work. There's a lesson that's especially true today in a culture that prizes flash over substance, that tells us that the goal in life is to be entertained, that says you can be famous just for being famous. But that's not going to lead to lasting, sustained achievement.
I cannot guarantee the success. I cannot guarantee ever that anyone is ever going to be successful. But I can guarantee that you're going to struggle. Guarantee. 100%. Nobody avoids it. That's it. Everybody that ever tries to do anything, and even most of the people that don't try to do anything, are going to struggle profoundly with moving forward. It's just hard like that. And so if you know that the struggle is guaranteed, then you can't allow yourself to waste time to be tormented by the fact that you're not where you want to be. Make sure you're having fun in the struggle. Figuring out how to struggle well, that's the answer.
Winning is not about the trophy and the accolades. It's about the grind. It's about the obstacles. It's about the challenges. It's about the pain that you endure along the way for that 30 seconds of being able to either stand on the platform, be acknowledged by individuals that are close to you. But when that happens, your mind has to immediately shift back, because now you felt and tasted something that you could only get through winning. Are you willing to do it again?
We're all looking for something. We're all looking for hope. Hope you can't just have just because you were born with hope. No, we're born with pain. And in our life, my parents always taught me that we have a choice. Either to be angry for what we don't have, or be thankful for what we do have.
But a lot of us have scars in our brains about lives, bad childhoods, bad adulthood, really going through. Those scars in your brain, we don't talk about, we hide. Scarring is proof that our past is real. But the one thing we do is we allow it to control our lives. And we get off the log. Well, it's time to get back on the log and not have those scars define the rest of your life. Sometimes you gotta fight pain with pain.
It's not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short and short, time and time again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows great enthusiasm, great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring to be great, so that his place shall never be with the cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You can't just quit. Remember this, it's in the hobby, it's in the joke, it's the lifestyle.
Engage. Engage. Weakness is strong. I must be stronger. I must crush it into submission through force of will. So I savage the body. I push and pull and fight against gravity. I fight against fatigue and soreness and the weakness that says, give in. I will not give in. I will fight.
You gotta rise up. You gotta make your dreams a reality and live a damn masterpiece. You know this. Make a decision. What's the decision? What's the thing you came here for? Now we're at the moment. The clock is ticking. Life can be long. You bury your dreams, you quit this, life gets long. It's only a thought if you don't take an action. The difference between a thought and a decision is an action. So we know, and you just decided, and you know what it is. You know what it is. A decision you've made, something you do that you follow up with the action to make it real.
What we don't do is we don't go inside. So literally turn yourself inside out. Read the book that says, like we're writing a book every day of our lives, but we never read that book. So what I would challenge this young man or young woman to do is you have to look inside of yourself to see what you really want. What are you passionate about? So when I speak from passion, I speak from experience, I speak from suffering. That the only way I believe, and this is my experience in life, the only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer.
Commitment is staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood that you said it in has left. Commitment is staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood that you've set it in has left. Like I know when the mood is right, we hype, we talking, we high-fiving, we talking about what we gonna do, and then we get in that certain moment of adversity, that certain moment of truth, and it tests our character. And the thing I love about adversity introduces you into who you really are as a person.
But you can only do that through the struggle of life. And most people avoid the struggle. Most people go through life avoiding pain. And when you go through life like that, something in you dies. Something in you that you never activate is lying dormant in there, that you never get a chance to call on because you have not challenged yourself. Somebody said, the land of familiarity belongs to the dead.
But sometimes in day-to-day life, you can lose track of the long-term goal. It fades from your vision. It slips from your mind. Wrong. I want that long-term goal to be so embedded in my mind that I never lose sight of it, ever. And the little tasks and projects and short-term goals that you tackle need to lead towards strategic victory, winning the long war.
When you get tired, when you get fatigued, when you get down, when you're in a slump, it's your habits, rituals, routines, and your standards that carry you through. And if you don't have good habits, you don't have good rituals, you don't have good routines, always in your life you will fall down in bad times, in slumps and fatigue and in stress.
I'm telling you that, look, you can't activate life. You can't begin to experience life in the way you want to experience. You can't have it. You can't be it. You can't do it until you activate it. Until, yes, it's all in there. All your gifts, all your talents, everything you need to do to be what you've been called to do, what you've been birthed to do. You can't do until you activate it, until you recognize you matter. Everything about you is great, but the problem is you have consciously chosen to be average.
So what you say to yourself, support, there's no fucking coach, there's no trainer to keep you going, it's only you. The whole thing is this, don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Stay hard.
Once you begin to discover who you are, then you'll really realize how you have been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, including all the dimensions of your life.
In other words, when the outcome changes and it's not what we want it to be, and it doesn't turn out the way we want it to turn out, do we still value the thing that we once said we value? Is our character still intact? Right? Because we all know it. Character's not something we inherit. Character's something we gotta wake up every single day. We gotta fight and we gotta build it. In the midst of opposition, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of uncertainty.
Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. However small or insignificant that step might seem, take it. Do it. Make it happen. Because that goal isn't going to achieve itself. It is all on you.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. You truly believe in it. If you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
Because your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears and all your consequences. What makes people go back is you dream too small. See, your problem in life ain't if you aim too high and you miss it. Your problem in life is if you aim too low and you hit it. That's, you messed up now. So when you aim to the moon and you miss, you still amongst the stars.
You ask the bro, what do you want? Man, I want to be diamond. Tell me something I don't know. Everybody wants it. But the raw reality of it is, everybody don't get it. And the crazy thing is, if you want it, you can get it. It's not like somebody is stopping you or holding a gun to your head and telling you you can't get it. It's a matter of will. It's a matter of hard work. It's a matter of sacrifice. It's a matter of dedication. It's a matter of commitment. And I'm not talking about the commitment that says, yes, I'll show up, not that commitment. I'm talking about the commitment. I'm gonna stay true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I said it in has left.
Look, guys, this pursuing success, becoming someone who is abnormal, becoming someone who sets the fucking standard for others, becoming someone who shows the rest of the world what is possible is a very difficult path. You are going to have people, you are going to have unexpected circumstances arise. You are going to have all these things that you never fucking counted on come and smack you in the face over and over and over again. This is just part of being on that path.
Like, what's the GPS that's on the end of our decisions and our choices? Like, where's it really taking us? Because at the end of the day in life, it's only two things that matter. And it's not about the biggest car, it's not about the biggest house, it's not about the bank account. It's only two things that matter. It's about who we become in life, and it's about what we give back to life. Please don't be the people in this world that become a public success, but they're private failures.
God has an incredible life for you. All you got to do is ask him for it. Be willing to put in the work. But now this work part is hard. Success is hard. But let me ask you a question. Ain't not being successful hard too? So now which hard you want? You want the hard with some options or some benefits, or you want the hard with ain't nothing going on?
That's true of your goals and dreams as well. There's an inevitability to success. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we adopt one more, when we adopt compound pounding. Do you know the kind of confidence you begin to have when you just accept in your life that I am going to be relentless, I'm always going to do extra, and you accept the fact that all things break down over time. All the barriers will go away, all the obstacles will go away, everything in your way will go away if you keep after it over an extended period of time. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year. They do. They set up goals for a year and they overestimate where they're going to get to. And they dramatically underestimate what they can do in a decade.
You have the power within you as you begin to develop your consciousness, as you hold the vision of what it is that you want to do, as you decide to answer this small voice within you. Because as you respond to this voice that's telling you you ought to do this, the way will come, ideas will come to you. You will begin to attract things you need and things that you don't even know that you need right now. You will develop the skills in the process.
Every single one of you who is struggling right now, you need to understand this. What you're going through right now, it's necessary because what's happening right now is you are forging the fucking skills. You are forging the determination. You are forging the grit. You are forging the fortitude. You are forging all the fucking things that nobody else is gaining because they're sitting on their hands and you're willing to push through.
Efficient but not effective. I did things right, but I never did the right thing. Efficient, not effective. Hollow. Jelly bean. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside. Don't possess nothing.
Most people go through life as volunteer victims. They go through life volunteering to be victims, giving excuses on why they're not pursuing their greatness, giving excuses on why they're not doing the things that they want to do, putting it off again and again and again, wasting valuable time. Life is very valuable, ladies and gentlemen. Time is very valuable, and it's very fragile. You got to decide to do what you can right now, and don't delay. Living your life like a sense of urgency.
Everything I've ever been a part of, everything I've ever been connected to, and everything I'm aspiring to do, everything I've ever wanted to accomplish, at a certain point I understood my perspective about it had to be right, because my perspective will always affect my performance. How I view what I do will always affect how I do what I do.
When you're complaining, you know what you're doing? You're focusing on everything that's wrong in your life. What you focus on, you move towards. Yep. And also what you focus on, you attract. When you're complaining, you're focusing on all the shit in your life. You're complaining. You can take control of your life and be a person that's not a creature of sorts, it's a creator.
Because, sure, life is tough, but it gets a lot easier when you're laughing at it. So, despite the suffering, in fact, to spite the suffering, to spite the hardship, to spite the challenges, laugh at them all. They can't stand it when you do. And they all get easier. Yes, laugh at them all, laughter wins.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they say it's not seen? Because your imagination, you are the only one who can see it. So you know what that means? All that stuff you've ever imagined is just been God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with your imagination is you tell it to the wrong people.
The people that are going to change their lives, the people that are going to recover their health, the people that are going to build their lives and start all over again from scratch are people who believe it's possible. The people who fail are the people who suffer from possibility blindness. They say the people that are successful in any area of life, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have.
I said dominate. So if you think you're gonna dominate in your industry, dominate in this world, and be one of the best at what you do, when I say dominate, I need you to make some noise because I'm talking about you.
So everything that you do is habit forming. And that includes hitting the snooze button. That includes sitting on the couch. That includes eating donuts. It's all habit forming. You know what else is habit forming? Discipline. Setting the alarm and getting up. Going and working out. That stuff is all habit forming too. I recommend you form some disciplined habits.
So of course you feel lost. Of course you feel confused. Of course you feel frustrated. Because you haven't been developing any of the skills that are necessary for you to live a true life that you're proud of. How about this? How about you work on developing your discipline machine?
And so I want whatever dream you have, I want you to expand it, I want you to increase it, and I want to warn you, don't ask yourself how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. Goethe says, that which does not kill you will make you stronger.
The greatest gift that you can give yourself is to find something that you're naturally adept at and figure out a way to make a living at it. Because if you do that, every day will be a play day. You're never battling upstream. You love what you do. And if you love what you do, if you love what you do, why do you want to stop doing it and then go out and try to find something that you like better?
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your worth, all you have to do is change your mind.
And in every family, there's a Neo. There's the one that eventually shows up in a family and changes the whole family forever. They rise up and they change it all.
Randy, those cats are on the side of the treadmill. Can't let conditions dictate your outcome. That train, whatever conditions they give you, because it's too nasty. Go to the side. Stay hard.
If you can believe it, you can achieve it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. This is something that you hear a lot of, and I get it. But guess what? Belief by itself doesn't get you anything. You gotta impose your will, you gotta be disciplined, and you gotta make things happen.
don't worry about failing. You're going to fail. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to look stupid. Why? It's called life. Make it okay to fail. See, well, I found that, as the saying goes, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit.
You have to be willing to grit it out. You have to be willing to push through discomfort. Nothing that you're about to try or do or achieve that is worthwhile is going to be comfortable for you during the process of creating it. So stop with this fucking hope shit. Stop with this I wish when it comes to your own life, and start replacing those terms with I will fucking do no matter what.
Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. You got to outthink and outwork the competition.
You can have, you can be, and you can do whatever you want to do, but you cannot do it if you're not willing to make the sacrifice. And for those of you who are willing to make the sacrifice, I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
That life is short and every second is precious, so put your freaking head down and keep getting after it.
The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now.
I don't know who needed to hear this, but I gotta tell you, you must be some kind of amazing if you think about all the things that have come up against you and you're still here. All the things that tried to stop you from getting to where you are now, to stop you from trying to have confidence or self-esteem, and yet you made it.
Question: who are you? Or at least, who could you be? Answer: part of the eternal force that constantly confronts the terrible unknown, voluntarily. And part of the eternal force that faces chaos and turns it into productive order. And all of this, being very difficult to understand consciously, but vital to our survival, is transmitted in the form of the stories that we cannot help but attend to. And it is in this manner that we come to apprehend what is of value, what we should aim at, and what we should be.
When you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, you're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination, and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got.
One of the greatest steps towards success is self-confidence. And the greatest builder of self-confidence is self-esteem. Doing the things you know you should do so that at the end of the day you have this great satisfaction. The old prophet said, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. Not the sleep of a goof-off man. Not the sleep of a joker, no. The sleep of one who labors, that's the sleep that's sweet.
Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
In order to have what you want in life, you must stop staring at the top of that mountain You must stop creating excuses for why you can't or don't feel like it. And you must put your head down and look at the first step in front of you. And then you must take the action and start walking toward what you want.
I don't believe everybody can be the biggest and the fastest and the strongest and the smartest, but I believe you are number one when you get up in the morning and say, today, I'm gonna give it my best shot. I believe you're number one when at the end of the day, you can honestly look in that mirror and say, today, I gave it my best shot.
Winning is in all of us. We all want to win, but the path people take to get to winning, everybody wants the end result and they want to feel the sugar and the confetti and all that other stuff. But what you have to endure to win, no one wants to talk about.
The reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you. When you have doubt, when your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation, say, no, don't do that. Your reasons will become your rod and your staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments.
So boy, don't you stop now. Don't you sit down on the steps cause you find this kind of hard, but I still going, boy. I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going.
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right.
Moments away from beginning your journey through life. Moments away from starting to change the world for the better. It will not be easy. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest.
Every man has two lies, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one. It's like a happy person wants 10,000 things. A sick person just wants one thing. It's your unlimited desires that are clouding your peace, your happiness. Every desire you have is an access where you will suffer. So just don't focus on more than one desire at a time. The universe is rigged in such a way that if you just want one thing and you focus on that, you'll get it. But everything else, you gotta let go.
Life and ambition and the need to know what we're doing and to always have a clear delineated path and to always be 100% certain on what we're doing and why we're doing it, not true, and that's not necessary at all. What's important is that you're present with what you got right now, what you're doing right now, and you do it for the sake of doing it in this moment and you don't think about the future. Because there is no future and you don't know how things are going to unfold.
Ladies and gentlemen, go into action with your dream. And don't avoid where the fights are. Get in the midst of the fight. Get knocked down so you can learn how to fight so you can hold your position. See, most people don't get out in the arena of life because they don't want to fight. Most people don't get out there because they don't want to get knocked down. They don't want to be dropped to their knees. But see, you're going to be dropped whether you're on the field or whether or not you're sitting on the sideline.
What you are looking for, what you need is self-discipline. Self-discipline, as the very name implies, comes from the self, you. It comes when you make a decision to be disciplined. When you make a decision to be better. When you make a decision to do more and be more.
It's like discipline yourself in one dimension. You see what happens. Well, that's exciting. The best we have might not always work, but it's still the best we have. And the fact that it might not work doesn't mean we should throw it away. It's still the best we have. I mean, everyone dies, and so we fail in some sense. The fact that a symphony ends doesn't mean that it wasn't worth listening to.
No one's coming back to help me. So it starts with that person in that mirror. You have to realize you are on your own now. On earth, it's a very lonely journey. And it starts with the accountability mirror, looking at saying, hey, my dad who beat the hell out of me is not coming back. All these things are coming back. I have to face myself. And you have to own all those things that people may have done to you. Now it's yours. You gotta own it. It's yours now to fix the problems that people did to you. It makes no sense. It's not fair. I get it. But if you live in that woe is me mentality of guess what? My dad did this to me. My mom did this to me. People who bully did this to me. You're gonna always live right there.
Motivation is very ungrounded, right? It's all up here. Whoa, I feel good. When it comes time to bring it into practice, you cannot rely on it. Motivation is just a feeling. Grounded action is what gets things done. When you have built a habit, it's ingrained in your nervous system in such a way that the brain doesn't even have to consider whether or not it'll get done. It just gets done. Commit once. You don't need to commit more than once. You commit once to the thing that you're going to do, and then you do it every single day. It's not the grand visions, it's the tiny actions that move towards a worthy ideal.
What makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, if what you got to change, though, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting.
Nobody's journey is seamless or smooth. We all stumble, we all have setbacks. If things go wrong, you hit a dead end, as you will. It's just life's way of saying, time to change course. Every failure, every crisis, every difficult time, I say, what is this here to teach me? And what I found is that difficulties come when you don't pay attention to life's whisper, because life always whispers to you first. And if you ignore the whisper, sooner or later, you'll get a scream. Whatever you resist persists, but if you ask the right question, not why is this happening, but what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? It puts you in the place and space to get the lesson you need.
So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things.
There is nothing that's ever good enough. The only thing that's enough is at the end of the day, the nth hour, the final hour, right? You're going for, and your hand is raised victoriously. That's when you know it's enough. And it will never go your way, guys, if you're saying today is good enough. If you never say good enough today, I promise you tomorrow will always be enough. Whenever good enough isn't enough, you can bet tomorrow you'll have enough. The way it is for you is blood, sweat, and tears today to create a foundation of strength for tomorrow. Those days combined into whatever dream you want to be a reality.
There's a quote from Viktor Frankl that says, when a man can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure.
What is your definition of all in? Everyone likes to talk about early mornings, late nights, hard work,
That's not all in. Everybody in this room is a hard worker. Everybody in this room is talented. Talent is a gift, it's not a promise. Everybody in here is putting in long hours. It's the other things that you do beyond all in.
If you want your day to feel easy, do the most difficult thing that you least want to do first.
If you just do the things you do not want to do, you will have everything you have ever wanted.
I need you to go to the next level. I need you to elevate. I need you to dominate. I need you to win. I need you to be that woman, to be that man. I need you to be him. I need you to be her. I need you to be that. And you know why you do that? Because you got to believe.
If you do not have the ability to resist, to manage, to overcome doubts, to overcome worries, to overcome concerns in whatever circumstance that prevents you from succeeding, this is not the year to talk about your problems. This is the year to solve your problems.
Decide who you want to become. You know, you can't drift into a new life. You can't back into it. You need to design your new life. Envision a version of yourself that you respect, that you really want to become, and be specific. Build a life that a man or a woman would really want to live.
You have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional addictions in your body. And your body has to respond to a new mind. So then you make a choice, and that choice becomes an experience that you never forget, and the hair on the back of your neck stands up. Your body is responding to a new mind, but you can't do it being your normal self. It requires a level of energy that is the epiphenomenon of matter. And when you change your energy, you change your life.
I think that there are many ways how you can, let's say, motivate yourself to walk this path. So why would I face the dark side of myself knowing already that it's got to be painful? Why would I do that?
You have to accept what has happened. You need to accept reality. It's one thing to accept the fact life isn't fair, this is cruel, I don't deserve this. It's a whole nother ballgame to accept that this is what has happened and it's not changing.
Same as like every time you face a challenge that was really, really difficult for you, but you still pushed it through somehow. You still were patient and persevered and were consistent and still tried. And this type of challenge for me was a way bigger victory than anything that was easily attained.
That means everything you got inside of you, everything that you're equipped with, that you got what it takes to make it through the battle, through the storm, to the next level. Let me tell you what, faith and worry don't get along. They don't coincide. They ain't dogs, they ain't homies, they ain't brothers, they ain't friends. They can't cohabitate. You got to believe. That means you got to have faith.
We must suffer. We must suffer. And you can run from it all you want.
Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point.
The longer you hold on to this wish, the longer you prolong your own suffering. I mean, most of human suffering, our internal pain, our anguish, it comes from the desire to have things be different than how they are. You know, there's one quote I love from the poet Rumi. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you.
So literally saying nothing sustainable and worthwhile in this lifetime comes from something that's easily attained. Facing yourself, face your shadow, face the dark side, look at your demons.
Your lack of commitment is almost an insult to the people who believe in you. And that's what I'm trying to tell myself. I said, there's people who believe in me, so this is what I'm telling myself right now, today. There's people that believe in me, and me having this half commitment, it's not who the fuck I am. It's not what my people, it's not what the people who believe in me deserve. And I want to give back to the people who believe in me, and everything's in arm's reach.
You just have to work to get there. There is no easy road to what you want. It's a long road. Everybody that wants to do something doesn't understand the steps that you have to take to get there. And it's not just in entertainment, it's in all aspects of life, man. And that's what I learned at a young age. No matter what, you can't escape work. You can't.
To truly change is to think greater than your environment. And every great person in history knew this. Whether it was William Wallace or Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King or Queen Elizabeth I or Joan of Arc, they all had a vision. They all had an idea. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, couldn't taste it, couldn't feel it, but it was alive in their mind. It was so alive in their mind that they began to live as if that reality was actually happening now. So can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already happened?
Take all of the things that you got to do in a particular day and rank order them from the things that you want to do the least to the things that you want to do the most. And I guarantee one of the big reasons why you never get anything done is because you do the opposite. You start your day off doing all the things that you want to do, and then you dread the rest of the day, and chances are you probably just end up skipping it. But if you say, hey, let me start my day off by doing all these things that I don't want to do, by the time you're done with it, you're only left with all the things that you're looking forward to. So now you're proud of yourself because you did something difficult that was uncomfortable, that you didn't want to do. And now you're excited because you get to enjoy the rest of your day. And they say you can't have your cake and eat it too.
How does suffering, how does hardship, how does pain give me purpose? The process of struggle, and the one who bears it is a process of development, of strengthening, of learning, of readjusting, but not just to anything, my friend. You are moving towards taking steps closer to embodying what you truly are.
You know what's crazy? You know you could be the one if you really wanted to, right? You know that, right? But see, you keep playing the what if game. What if it don't work out this? What if it don't work out that? What if it do work out? Then what? You gonna be happy, right? You can't say you want to win, but then you scared to lose. What kind of sense does that make? If you put your head down and lock in on the vision, how could you not win? Only thing that's gonna cause you to lose is your mentality. But that's between you and you, though.
The person you can control. People are not who you want them to be. Kill your idols. Sure, there are things we can learn from people, but people aren't going to be what you think they are, what they should be. Because you can't control other people. You can't make them what you want them to be. You can't make them who you want them to be. The only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want to be.
You guys need to understand what you don't have to do. All right? You don't have to work hard, you don't have to eat right, you don't have to sleep right. You don't have to do more than what's required of you. You don't have to be a good teammate. You don't have to be a good leader. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But you also don't have to win. You don't have to be a success in life. So the greatest things in life take sacrifice and discipline. And that's why so few people achieve great things. Because they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to discipline for something greater. So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to, it's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them. That's the truth. So don't get mad later when you create your whole storm and then it starts raining on you. Surround yourself with dreamers and doers, the believers and thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within people when they don't see it in themselves.
Nothing in life is promised except death. If you have the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
Faster, stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. Discipline your body. Free your mind. Get up early and go. Get after it, and you will become the person you want to be. And you become that person through one small decision at a time.
If the game or break go against you, don't let up, put on more steam. If the game or break goes against you, don't let up, put on more steam. In life, with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you seek to do, the things that you aspire to do, the things that you want to accomplish, never forget first and foremost how brilliant you are. Never forget the people that played a part in you getting in this position. Never forget what you're made out of. But on the road to success, on the road to accomplishment, on the road to evolving and development, if the game or break goes against you in life, the only favor I ask of you, because in life, people don't burn out, people don't quit, and people don't underachieve because of what they do. People burn out, people quit, and people underachieve because life makes them forget why they do it. And so the only favor I ask of you, if the game or break of life go against you, don't let up, put on more steam.
When you are struggling and you start thinking about giving up, I want you to remember, and that is the power of hope. The belief that something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it. It is our fundamental belief in the power of hope that has allowed us to rise above the voices of doubt and division, of anger and fear that we have faced in our own lives. Our hope that if we work hard enough and believe in ourselves, then we can be whatever we dream, regardless of the limitations that others may place on us. The hope that when people see us for who we truly are, maybe, just maybe, they too will be inspired to rise to their best possible selves.
Your life is before you. You fill these pages with your hopes, with your passion, with your dreams. You write. You write the greatest story ever told.
You can't outrun the demons. They'll always find you. Only way to beat them is looking them eye to eye and make them your mindset's the only thing that gets you through hard times.
When you make the decision to do what you want to do with your life, just know this: because the family and the friends in your life do not share your vision. But know this: only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
When it all boils down to what it is, mano a mano. And if you ain't got more heart than me, if you ain't been working harder than me, if you ain't sacrificed more than me, I'm gonna destroy you. And I'm not retreating. I'm not running. I don't care what they say on paper. We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat. We don't run. Every man must search his own soul. You don't judge a person by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge them by where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. And if you ain't work, like when you work for something, it gives you a different type of attachment to it. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. That's why cats can give up so easy. They ain't got nothing invested. Like when a cat been sacrificed for something, well, you gonna have a cold day in hell before you take it from him.
So tonight, the question I ask you is what things in your life are you going to give a funeral to? What things in your life have to die? What things in your life have been keeping you from seeing the greatest version of yourself, have been keeping you from knowing your worth, have been keeping you from seeing how special you are? Have been keeping you to live in depression, have been keeping you to live in pain. What things are you allowing to live in your life that need to be dead? Because the truth of the matter is, and I'm not trying to put fear in your heart, but I'm putting reality on your mind. The truth of the matter is, we're all gonna die. But the truth of that is, not all of us are gonna live.
It might be April where you are, and you're expecting nice weather, but it's 20 degrees. So, you might be somewhere where it's too hot. So, you might have sore legs, sore back, sore shoulder. So, the struggle is real. It never gets any easier. You gotta get harder. No one cares what you did yesterday. It only matters what you're doing today. I'm a cheerleader for those who want to be better, not for those who want to stay the same. We're so stuck in this comfort zone, and the comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. We're so stuck where it's convenient. We're so stuck in this ritual where it feels good, and so when God tries to shake us up a little bit, the problem always happens before the miracle. The lessons always come before the blessings.
How bad do you want your goal right now? I think there's a lot of people in the world today, because it's a really niche thing to talk about, I want this is my outcome, this is my goal. Like, how bad do you want? Do you want it as bad as breathing? Do you want it as bad as anything you ever wanted in your life? And if you calibrate it at the highest enough levels, what I found is the people that are the hungriest, they find a way.
You choose to stay comfort. You choose comfort, you choose to stay comfortable. You choose to stay in a place that you know your life shouldn't be at anymore. Some of us, we've been living in the same place for the last decade, for the last 15 years, for the last 5 years. And we've been keeping ourselves in a place that has done no good for our life. Some of us need to give that funeral to the environments in our life. As you know, what you surround your life around is what you will become.
And when you go through something, you're gonna learn some lessons, but it's not always easy to extract lessons from a bad situation.
To me, every day is a beginning, a new day, a new week, a new shot at life. An opportunity to come out of the gate like a man possessed and attack the day without mercy. Today, I'm taking scalps. I'm putting the pressure on. I'm the aggressor. I'm on the attack. And of course, I will get tired. I will get beat up. I'll get knocked down and drained, and I will have some bad days. But I will not stop.
When you know why you want something, when it's desperation, the power of being desperate is something that most people avoid. They think desperation is a weakness. And I'm here to tell you, desperation is one of the most powerful emotions you could possibly possess, because when you're desperate, you find reserves and reservoirs of ideas, talents, and a strength that you don't know you have when you find yourself in a desperate situation. So the number one thing we need more than anything to win is hunger, which comes from a state of desperation. Yet we're constantly trying to comfort ourselves in the real world to avoid the state of being desperate.
And so I love the process. I love it. I love working for what I want. I love the sacrifice. I love the dedication. I love the commitment. I love that. Everybody wants the prize. Nobody wants the process. Everybody wants to be a diamond. Nobody is willing to get cut. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. And I'm saying to you, whatever you gotta do, do it, because if you don't, life is gonna whoop you until you surrender. So if it's hard, then do it hard. These are not tears of sorrow. These are tears of joy, because the thing I understand, the only thing I need you to do is deal with it in the right way. And watch what God not only does in your life, watch what God does in everybody's life that's connected to you. And the thing about every storm has an expiration date. So when I don't see the point and I feel like my life is being dismantled, could it be that God's preparation comes packaged as pain? And maybe if you could see it that way, it wouldn't take the pain away, but it would give the pain a purpose. If you could see what you've been calling a failure really wasn't a failure. It was a foundation.
You're 25, you could be an idiot. It's no problem. Okay, well now you're the same person at 30. It's like people aren't so thrilled about you at that point. It's like, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years? Well, I'm just as clueless as I was when I was 22. Yeah, but you're not 22. You're an old infant, right? And that's an ugly thing, an old infant. So, part of the reason you choose your damn sacrifice, because the sacrifice is inevitable, but at least you get to choose it. Part of the proper path of development in the last half of life was to rediscover the child that you left behind as you were apprenticing. And so then you get to be something and regain that potential at the same time.
Make a decision. Because if you don't decide, well, you know, life decides for you. Indecision is still a decision.